and a very warm welcome to all of you. I am Meha Bhardwaj Alter. Two of the most consistent test teams over the last 2 years will be fighting for the ultimate glory in test cricket, the World Test Championship maze. Nobody knows what to expect over the next 5 days, given this is the first time a test match is being played at the Oval in the month of June. Both teams, India and Australia, have come prepared. But the one who reads the conditions better and adapts to them quickly will have the advantage in the big final. Two men who are here to set this up for us are Jamie Alter and Vedam Jaishankar. And, the part that is fun having both of them here is their difference of opinion at times. So we get both arguments on the show. So let me thank the two gentlemen for joining us here as we build up to the big final. And let me go straight to Vedam. I'm sure the players are charged up, Vedam, but this is also exciting for all of us, not knowing what to expect. I'm being told, or at least on my Twitter feed, what I'm seeing is that it is overcast, it's cloudy. So it gets interesting in how India will choose their playing 11. So much to look forward to, and the mystery behind what to expect. Nobody really knows how the conditions will be here.
Hi, Meha. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Nobody really will know what to do because what happens in England is, and especially in Test cricket and more
Yeah.
so in England, is, you got to play it by the hour. It's not even by the session. You got to play it by the hour because one bad hour or one bad session can really change the match for you. So it's a question of continuing your concentration over a long period of time and whatever you're doing, whether you're batting, fielding, or bowling, to stay in the zone right through. And that's very important. And, a drop catch, a missed run out could mean a lot. So it means concentration for a long spell of time. And, winning those small battles are very, very important in a test match because, like I said, in one spell, a bowler can take the match away from you. So for the batsman also, it's a tough ask in England, especially now that you say that it's overcast conditions. Because even otherwise, the ball does move, and we are playing in the early part of summer.
Yeah.
And early part of summer is always a challenge in England. The wickets are softer than usual, but I'm sure they would have put a lot of effort on this oval track. And like you said, yes, they haven't played a test match in Oval in the month of June for a long, long time. But there's always a first time. And I think both sides would look forward to it and see how it goes. But
Yeah.
again, like I said, you got to watch out every single hour.
Yeah, it keeps changing, and that's the beauty of playing in England, that you're never really sure of what the conditions will be in the next hour. And that's what one expects over the next 5 days. But what also one expects is that both these teams will give it their all. They know what's at stake with them. And some of those visuals that we were just seeing, these stills from within the dressing room, the whites, they're these white sweaters, and just, these are wonderful photos, and it gives you a sense of what this means in terms of the cricketing legacy that will follow for the team that wins this World Test Championship. Now this is for Rohit Sharma and India. They've not won an ICC trophy in the last 10 years, the last being 2013 Champions Trophy. This is a huge moment for these two teams. And like you were saying this yesterday, Vedam, that there will be butterflies, there will be nerves, especially for the team batting first in overcast conditions. So exciting because no one knows what to expect, but also because these two have been the best teams over the last 2 years. They have won enough matches to get to this point where they're playing at this neutral venue, where a test match hasn't been played here in the month of June before. So a lot to look forward to. Jamie Alter also joins us here. These are pictures from the dressing room just before, I think the teams came in. And Jamie's here as well. Jamie, like I was telling Vedam, that this is exciting for us as well, and it's always exciting whenever India is touring either England or Australia. that first day of the first test match, um, the fear of the unknown, but at the same time, the excitement of we're going to go out there and try to win this over the next 5 days.
Absolutely, like you were saying, it's been so long. I mean, I'll say sorry to all our viewers, but if you're counting the Champions Trophy, which is played between just 8 teams, I'm saying let's just skip that because 8 teams, the final was reduced to 20 overs. Let's excuse that. It's actually been 12 years since any global trophy came India's way. I have no doubt that India has the best depth, the best talent, the best bench strength, and we're talking about the richest cricketing board in 12 years without a trophy. That's a big black mark on Indian cricket. Let's hope that this time once again a final of a World Test Championship, a tournament which was postponed, delayed, almost cancelled so many times because as always the ICC just could not figure out how to fit it in. They actually cancelled this twice and they prolonged the ICC Champions Trophy, which we've also not now seen for what 5, 6 years now. And
Yeah.
who knows whether it will actually be held 2 years from now. So let's just put that aside. Let's talk about a World Test Championship. India have been here 2 years ago in these very shores. A colossal blunder by Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri on how to judge the conditions, how to judge their players. Saw them, basically hand that match over to New Zealand. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that the Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, the whole coaching staff, the think tank, everyone who has a say in that dressing room. And what stunning visuals you just put up here, lovely. It just really got the emotion stirred. But let's hope that, practical sense prevails, the right team is picked. And whatever team is picked, right or wrong, that they just play the best cricket. Because as an Indian cricket fan, I personally do not want to see 12 years extended to one more year of yaar yahan tak to pahunch gaye, but why do we always blow it in the finals?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. Let's hope that India absolutely smash Australia by playing some very good test cricket.
Absolutely. Okay, for all of you who are joining us, the question is who has the advantage? What should India look to do? Let us know in the comment section below. And this will be interesting as to how India judges the conditions. It'll come down to what their playing 11 will be. They have to make sure that they don't make any errors there. For Australia, they've got a settled playing 11. They've already said there'll be no surprises in store. They've already said Scott Boland is Josh Hazlewood's replacement. So you're not expecting any surprises there. But for India, it is a slightly more difficult decision, Vedam. And I think that's where the problem will be. To go in with two spinners, to go in with the best test spinner in Ravichandran Ashwin, or make him sit out and go in with an extra fast bowler. That will be the challenge. And given the conditions, if we're saying it's overcast conditions, I mean, Rohit Sharma, this is a huge headache for him.
I lost you for a minute there, Meha, but I guess the visuals that you were showing of the dressing room, yeah, I think the English guys have learned a bit from the modern Indian stadium and maybe Bangladesh and other places, because those English dressing rooms are so small. Maybe it's a legacy of the players versus gentlemen era. And they used to be so small. The minute there was sunshine, people used to run out and go and sit out in the sun. Otherwise, rest of the time, they try to stay cozy in a small dressing room. But now I think it looks bigger. It still doesn't compare well with some of our modern stadiums. Yeah, well, having said that, I would expect India to play two spinners, irrespective of what's happening. Because, like I said, in England, the weather pattern keeps changing. And over 5 days, you could get so many different combinations and permutations of the weather. And so I don't think you should really look only at the weather. The Oval has got some sort of a reputation for helping spinners later in the day or later in the match. So I think I would still go with Ashwin and Jadeja, basically because both the guys can bat a bit, and
Yeah.
that could come in quite handy. Of course, Jadeja is the better batsman, almost frontline batsman, but Ashwin is no slouch either, and he is a smart young man, and he would know how to bat, and of course, he definitely knows how to bowl, and he could adapt to the conditions. So I would definitely go because that's our strength. There's no point in saying that we need to go
Yeah.
with 4 or 5 fast bowlers when that's not our strength. Our strength is play with spin, have 3 fast bowlers. The spinners are the cover up, and you will not bowl the spinners for maybe 20, 25 overs each per day, but they could definitely do a holding job, maybe bowl 12 to 15 overs per day, which is good if you have 3 frontline fast bowlers who can do their job. and I'm sure if the spinners can chip in with about 10 or 12 overs per day each, then I think India will be well served. But again, the idea is they would, if there is rain, there could be a lot of rest that the bowlers would get,
Yeah.
every now and then. So maybe big spells would be 6 overs, 5 overs, 6 overs. I don't think it'll go beyond that. And of course, the challenge is, like you said, to pick the 11, right 11. And
Yeah.
again, you cannot go on what is the prevailing condition right then, because it could change over the next 3 or 4 days. And mind you, there's no impact player rule, so before the toss you have to hand over your playing 11, and it's not like you could keep
You
on
can change
going
it.
with it like our IPL. Yeah, they have to choose the 11, but I think India will have a settled 11. Three fast
Yeah.
bowlers and two spinners is what I'm looking at.
Okay, we'll also ask you about who the third fast bowler will be for you. But for all of you who are joining us now, who do you think should be part of the bowling attack in terms of the spinners? Should India go in with both the spinners? Should India go in with just Ravindra Jadeja? Because I'm seeing visuals from outside the Oval on my Twitter timeline, and conditions are overcast. But as Vedam's been saying, conditions change every hour. So, that is going to be a challenge for Rohit Sharma. Jamie, having said that, the importance of having someone like Ravichandran Ashwin playing to your strength is what every team should look to do. Here, do you look at who is your best playing 11 than what the conditions really demand? Because at the end of the day, Ravichandran Ashwin's record against left-handers and the number of left-handers that we have in the Australian squad. On top of that, I remember the one-off county match he played at the Oval for Surrey, got 6 wickets there. So, he is a very canny bowler. He knows what to do in all conditions. He's got the variety, and I'm sure he's done the homework, and how to bowl in these conditions. You would go in with 2 spinners in Jadeja and Ashwin?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Of course, the obvious reference is to the same identical final 2 years ago, where India were there having been number one. But look, there in Southampton, it had rained for 3 days prior to the match. Forecast was rain. And that's why I used the word blunder, because Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli played 2 spinners, whereas New Zealand dropped their spinner and played 5 seam bowling all-rounders. Okay, now this is nowhere near. It might be overcast right now, but the forecast for the next 6 days is very decent. And like Vedam rightfully said, you don't know, in those 5 days, you could get 4 different seasons, right? Keeping that in mind, we know this is the first time in 145 years that a test match is being played in the first week of June, right? But it's still the Oval. It's not going to pour. You might get the odd half an hour, 40 minutes of some drizzle spitting down. But Meha, Vedam, you need to bowl 90 overs in a day, right?
Yeah. Okay,
whatever,
Jamie.
whatever. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, those are visuals from outside the Oval. You saw India's latest new superstar, Shubman Gill. There's Virat Kohli. And look at the fans outside. That's the wonderful thing about India playing anywhere in the world. You'll still see a lot of fans who support this team. And as you can see, players making their way into the stadium to get ready for the big final. And these are visuals. The one thing that stands out for me in this, Vedam and Jamie, is that it does seem dark there. Huh? I don't see any sunlight. So it is overcast, as we've been saying. And you can see that from those visuals because it seems dark. Ravichandran Ashwin, the decision on him, that'll be the crucial one. There you see Indian captain Rohit Sharma walking out. Cheteshwar Pujara, a lot will depend on how he bats, especially if Indian openers don't get off to a good start, if they're unable to bat long. Jaydev Unadkat, will he get a go today? That is the other question. He will provide you the left arm variety that can trouble the Aussies, but will India go in with him, or will they go with Umesh Yadav or Shardul Thakur? Mohammad Shami comes out of the bus. This is a huge moment for these players. Rohit Sharma has already in the press conference spoken about how he wants to leave his captaincy after having won championships, after having won titles. He says that's what you play for. and that'll be my legacy. Of course, I want to win championships. Of course, I want to win world titles, and we will look to do that today as we play against Australia. That's what he has said. Those were live visuals from outside the stadium. And the last one to get out in those visuals, Mohammad Siraj. A lot will depend on how he bowls along with Mohammad Shami with the new ball. It'll be important to get someone like Usman Khwaja out straight away. David Warner, who will be determined to get a big score, because he's already said that this is now, the last phase of his career. So interesting, this match, of course, is exciting as we've been building up. I want you all who are watching to tell us, who do you think has the advantage today, and what should be India's playing 11? What should be India's combination? Do let us know in the comment section below. I'll also request my producer to put those visuals back for all of you to see. That's the Indian team arriving. But let's just go across to both Jamie and Vedam. And I think Jamie was already trying to make a point about this team and adapting to the conditions. Overcast conditions, what we were talking about, Jamie. Go ahead, complete your point, and then I'll go to Vedam.
Yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, of course, overcast conditions now might be there, might show up 6-7 times across the next 6 days, because there is, we all know, a reserve day. But I'm willing to wager that it's not going to affect the conditions. You're still going to get fairly bright conditions. And as Vedam was mentioning, the oval is known to get drier. Of course, we're not playing in August, September, but I'm still going to say that you need to back the kind of track that the oval is. Now, coming down to 90 overs per day, 80 because after 80, you get the chance of using the second new ball. If India play 4 fast bowlers, there's no Bumrah. Are those 4 fast bowlers going to be able to bowl 65 of the 80 overs? I just don't think so, right? Umesh Yadav is tremendous with the old ball in Indian conditions, but he's a bowler that his captains like to use for 4-5 over bursts. Mohammad Shami can bowl 7-8 overs, but it's going to be a lot on a bowler who's just come off the IPL, where he's bowled the most overs he's ever bowled in IPL, right? Mohammad Siraj can probably get you 8 in a row. To my mind, it's that workhorse Shardul Thakur who, if you want 10 overs, he's the only guy who can do it. Now, 65 overs or 60, 62, let's say, between 4 fast bowlers, I think it's a recipe for disaster. You need 2 spinners to help you bowl a majority of the overs. Ashwin has to play as a spin bowler, but you cannot drop Jadeja. Jadeja is as good as any other number 5 going around. Yes, it's overcast. Yes, there might be some showers, but you cannot expect these 4 fast bowlers that India have right now to bowl 60 to 65 overs per day. It is just not feasible at all. That's why I believe whatever the overcast conditions be, you need 2 spinners, because a lot of overs are going to be bowled.
But let me tell you this as well, Jamie and Vedam, that for the county cricket that's been played here, they haven't used too many spinners. Now, you can look at it the other way, that Surrey relies largely on their fast bowlers. And I think they've not really had to use a spinner. If a spinner has been used, he's not bowled more than 7 or 8 overs in an innings. But having said that, they don't have someone like Ravichandran Ashwin or a Jadeja in their side. I mean, they have, they have Will Jacks. I don't know whether they're going to use, they were going to use him then, and whether he would have been impactful. But Ravindra Jadeja is a different, Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin are completely different. Ashwin, one of the best really of modern cricket, along with Nathan Lyon. I mean, you'll see how they bowl and the difference that they make. But let's also then talk about the toss, and it's going to be important. I want to ask both of you, if India wins the toss, what should they look to do in those conditions? Jamie?
Bat. There's no other option. It's not Headingley, yes, it might be overcast. It's not going to be a green top as we saw yesterday. There's going to be something. You do not want to blunder and choose to field here, because all said and done, this is Australia, who are hungry, they're bitten, they're bruised, they want to make a statement. And I'm willing to also bet that they're going to take a leaf out of Bazball and come and look to score quick runs. They're not going to wait for Travis Head to come and do Travis Head things. I think they're going to say, look, we have these 5 Ashes test matches. Let's just go after India, because India seem to be on the back foot. I would bat first, no matter what the conditions are.
What about you, Vedam?
Yeah, I think India should bat. If they win the toss, they should just bat. For 2 reasons. If you're going to have 2 spinners, then they would come into play in the fourth innings, and that's a great advantage to have. As far as the other bowlers are concerned, I would not play Jaydev Unadkat. He may be a left-arm fast bowler, but I think he's a little older. And if you're going to try somebody who is a little older, he will have nerves. He'll have too many nerves. He's not like unleashing a young fast bowler, who just wants to go and make a mark. But I think the older you are, then you have a lot of hesitancy. You're not sure, and I don't think that's the sort of thing that you want at this stage of his career. So I would not play Jaidev Unadkat. I would not play Shardul Thakur either, because the entire attack actually should revolve around your spearheads. Your spearheads obviously are Mohammad Shami and Siraj in that order, or vice versa. The others have to bowl around them. See, that's how you work on a pack. The pack has to work around. And if you use these two as your spearhead, then you'll have to see how much they're going to bowl in a day. And of course, I expect a lot of rest in English conditions. But even then, if they're going to do the bulk of your bowling, then the other three bowlers will have to do a good containing job. Of course, they'll have to chip in with a wicket or two. But I think Umesh Yadav, especially with his outswingers, would be a better bet than Shardul Thakur. Thakur, again, he's a good batsman. He has shown that he's capable of batting and getting some runs.
Yeah.
But I honestly feel that you really need to go with three frontline bowlers, and Umesh Yadav is the better bowler and the better fielder. So my team really is that you bat first, you play with five bowlers, you have three fast bowlers, two spinners, and go for it.
Okay, so there you're both agreeing on that India should, if they win the toss, bat first. But Jamie, do you agree with Vedam on the third seamer in Umesh Yadav and not go in with someone like Shardul Thakur? Shardul Thakur has a great record here at the Oval. Umesh Yadav has a very good record as well. I think he got 6 wickets in the last test match that he played. So who do you think, who will be your preferred choice?
It's a very tough call. Look, I know what Umesh Yadav offers, and he did have a big say in India's last match. He took 6 wickets. But if you look at him, just like Rishabh Pant was for the longest time, Rishabh Pant was played overseas, and Saha was played at home. Umesh Yadav has almost become just a home specialist. His chances overseas have really become very, very few and far now, and they've come when someone has been injured. So I understand, he's quicker, and Vedam got a good point. He's a much better fielder. He's got a gun arm. But something about the condition, if they're overcast, you just want that typical, medium pace bowler. And Shardul Thakur has 27 wickets overseas, played 7 of 8 tests overseas. I think the conditions will probably suit him. Umesh Yadav needs a slightly different ball. It needs the conditions to be a bit drier. Whether we get that, I don't know. We might, and in which case Umesh Yadav could do some tremendous things in the fourth innings along with the spinners. But just given that it's England and you want that wobbling seam, Shardul, I just go for him, because I know it's slightly negative to say that you want to pick a team in which the bowlers can bat. That you're basically saying that your top 5 is not good enough. I just want lower order runs, and those 250s that Shardul Thakur scored at the Oval 2 years ago, that for me is just somehow ringing very, very loud. Umesh Yadav is going to swing the first ball for 6 and get bowled the second ball. Mohammad Shami is not, I know he can have some fun. Siraj cannot bat to save his life. If conditions do get tough and India are, 200 for 6, I would feel a lot more comfortable with Shardul Thakur walking out. The guy's played a lot of first-class cricket. I would just want that extra batting cover. That's my view.
Okay, both the experts on the show saying that, first of all, India should bat first if they win the toss. Do you agree with them? Do let us know in the comment section below. Kabir Naqvi, our colleague, is asking you guys a question. He says, does India have the answers for Boland's bowling power? Now, Vedam, he has actually been brilliant. His introduction to Test cricket, it's been a dream sort of start for him in Test cricket. So does India, because it's not just Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, he's also going to come really hard at them.
Yeah, but I don't know whether he did anything at all when he played at Nagpur. I'm sure you'll say that conditions are totally different.
Yes,
but yes, conditions are certainly different. And I saw them stepping out of the bus, and everyone had a jumper or a jacket, or some even had 2 or 3 layers of clothing. They're coming from 44 or 45 degrees in Ahmedabad right down to whatever it is, 14 or 16 degrees in London. So I think that itself is going to be a big change. And for the Australians, maybe, they are it's their winter. Their winter is quite severe, but they could still be able to manage in English conditions. So I think India also need to get acclimatized to it. But Bolland, I don't think we are going to worry too much about him. Yes, he is a good bowler. There's no doubt about it. Anybody who bowls fast for Australia is definitely has got to be good because there's so much competition there for fast bowling berths, and you definitely have to be good. But I still believe that Pat Cummins is the danger man for India. He's the guy who can really bowl the ball just outside the off stump, the odd ball coming in, leaving the bat, and he'll be asking a lot of questions with his height, with his pace, and with his control. I think he's the guy to look out for. Maybe balling like Shardul Thakur, you let down your guard when they come into bowl, and that's the great danger with these bowlers.
Okay, now talking about India's fast bowlers, the most experienced fast bowler in India's WTC squad is Mohammad Shami, and in Jasprit Bumrah's absence, he is the leader of the attack. He will need to bring all his test experience into the final. Coming off a personal best IPL season and the purple cap for most wickets, which is 28 at an economy of 8.03, he can claim some confidence heading into the WTC final in England, where his record is brilliant. 13 test matches, 38 wickets, 40 is his average with a best of 4 for 47. But more than the stats he has in England, it is Shami's experience and control with the new ball and the old that looks like being the biggest threat to Australia's batsmen. So Shami's record versus Australia is he's played 11 test matches, 40 wickets. The average is better here than overall in England, 31.27, 6 for 56 is his best. But I think it'll come down to his how he bowls against Australian left-handers, because he's got Head out 3 times, Khwaja twice and Warner twice as well. So it'll be interesting how he bowls, Jamie. And in the absence of Jasprit Bumrah, it'll be important that he and Mohammad Siraj step up, because if Australia bat first today as well, they need to take quick wickets.
Absolutely. I mean, this absence of Jasprit Bumrah is massive because we've seen what he does. And Jasprit Bumrah is also an overseas specialist. If you look at it, hardly played a handful of test matches in India. Most of his test matches and his success. I remember the first year he came, 2018 was it? He took 5 wicket hauls in his first 3 overseas tours. And on days like this, conditions like this, what you would do to have Jasprit Bumrah running in and just teasing the batsman by pitching it on a length. But you look at it, I mean, fast bowling is about pairs. As tremendous as Jasprit Bumrah was, you need to see the kind of efforts that Mohammad Shami had. So someone has to step up to also support him. He is the leader of this pack, but like I mentioned, somewhat after 6 overs, he gets a bit ginger. So whoever, if they go with 4 fast bowlers, every single one of them is going to have to be on the dime. And what I'm seeing from 3 different websites, it looks like the 3 fast bowlers who are locked in are Siraj, Shami, and Shardul Thakur. So that 4th toss-up, it looks like being between Ashwin and Umesh Yadav.
Absolutely. I'm being told Ashwin is spending his time talking tactics with Rahul Dravid, while Shardul Thakur does some stretching on the side. This is the pitch report from Kumar Sangakkara Vedam. He says it's cold, there's a bit of wind and it's overcast. There will be swing. There's a lovely green covering of grass, so there'll be seam as well. You'll have very good bounce here. So I don't know. I would think that maybe there's a chance that you'd want to bowl first here.
No. Don't. No? I only hope they don't do that mistake. It's better to bat, I think you should be willing to lose a couple of wickets early. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's the first day. You just don't throw away the toss. This is test match. It's not IPL cricket. You don't throw away the toss. You cling on to the toss. If you win the toss, bat first. Your first thing is to try and bat the opposition out of the contest, but that's not going to be easy at all. You need a score of minimum 300 runs to be competitive. But I think, having said that, I think India missed a trick by not picking Arshdeep Singh, because he would have been a very useful third seamer because of his height, because of his pace, and he'll be able to move the ball. And he could have been the X factor. Unfortunately, the selectors didn't think so. Why I say that was Rahul Dravid is now the coach. He remember some years back when they went to England. They had Javadal Srinath and Venkatesh Prasad, who were doing an outstanding job. Suddenly, the first change bowler was Paras Mambre, and the pressure just went out of the team. They just couldn't hold on to that pressure. So I don't want the same thing to happen. We have two outstanding fast bowlers in Mohammad Shami and Siraj, and God forbid if one of them breaks down, you need the third seamer also to be as sharp. Even otherwise, the third seamer has to be sharp and should be on the ball, and which is why I speak about Umesh Yadav, because he can do something. You don't expect him to get 6 wickets, but definitely if he can pick up 2 or 3 wickets in each innings, that would be a great help. And the conditions, irrespective of what it is, I think India should bat first and
Okay,
not
so
throw it away, because we have
irrespective.
seen in England conditions keep changing.
Okay, so the Oval has hosted 104 test matches, but this is the first test match that will be played in the month of June. The other thing, in the recent county matches, Jamie, average first innings total is 250. The best day to bat is day 3. Day 4, rain is predicted here. It's interesting how all of this is going. So day 3 is the best day to bat. The first day is the most difficult. Second day it gets easier. And in fact, day 4 is also a good day to bat. Now, these are just recent stats from the recent matches. Are you still saying that India should bat first, like Vedam?
Absolutely, because like I said, you might get 4 seasons. You mentioned 3 of them right now. You add in snow on day 5, and that pretty much sums up in England and England weather across 5 days. But you just don't. I mean, yes, it's overcast. You might see 6 mm of grass on the pitch. You might look into all these factors, and they're very traditional factors which would prompt a team to bowl. But we're talking about a World Test Championship. Let's say David Warner was at a horrible 8 months. What if he suddenly finds something, and what if someone drops him in the slips and he gets 100? He's not going to score 100 off 290 balls. He's going to get you 120 balls. That's going to just set Australia off onto a different tangent. And I'll echo Vedam's words. You don't mind losing 1 or 2, but just bat. It's not going to rain for 4 hours. You're not going to lose a session. It might be overcast. Well, I mean, just bat. I cannot stress on that enough.
Okay, so bat first for both our experts. Also, the captains are out there in their blazers for the toss. We'll give you all the details, but this is a big moment for these two captains, both Rohit Sharma and Pat Cummins. They'd want to win this, because imagine ending your career with this trophy, with this mace, World Test Championship. Winning the World Test Championship as a captain. Huge moment for both of them. India have won the toss and they've chosen to field first. Now, gentlemen, how do you see this? Cummins spins the coin, heads is the call from Rohit, and heads it is, and they have decided to bowl first like I was expecting. India have won the toss. That is the news from the Oval. In the World Test Championship final, Rohit Sharma wins the toss, decides to bowl fast. These are the conditions are overcast, and you know what? Rohit Sharma said that I'm going to give my bowlers the chance to get the Australian batting out quickly because of the kind of conditions that you're seeing at the Oval. How do you see this? Okay, before I come to both Jamie and to Vedam, this is what Rohit Sharma had said, that he said we are going to bowl. The conditions and also the weather being overcast, the pitch won't change much. Also, that's the breaking news, but I'm also giving you, I'm sending the team sheet that I've got. So, the playing 11, gentlemen, is that there is KS Bharat as the wicket keeper, only one spinner, and they've gone in with 4 seamers in Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj and Shardul Thakur. Ravichandran Ashwin sits out of this one. Your reactions? Let's start with Jamie and then I'll come to Vedam. Jamie?
Yes, I mean, okay, not surprised that India have gone with 4 seamers. I wish them well. I hope all 4 and set this win up, because to take the same route, the same approach that Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri did by leaving out a bowler with such experience based on conditions, very, very surprised. Let's hope that Jadeja has an impact with the ball, because if it does not rain, if the conditions get drier, and any of those four bowlers pulls up with a niggle or hobbles off, where are the overs going to come from? India do not have any part-timers. Gone are the days when Rohit would bowl, when Yuvraj Singh was around. You've left it to five bowlers, five very capable bowlers. But let's hope now that Umesh. I mean, there's a lot riding on Umesh Yadav to force Ashwin out just because it's overcast on
Yeah.
one day. I wish him the best, and let's hope that this works. Because if it doesn't, the non-selection of Ashwin and choosing to field here, this could rank again as another bad call. But let's wish the team well.
You know what? I don't see this as a bad call. I mean, I've been wanting to tell you guys as well. Why not go in with four seamers? And, they have good fast bowlers. I'm expecting Mohammad Shami and Siraj to get them wickets, early wickets, overcast conditions. Back your fast bowlers and say, you know what? We may not need, Shardul Thakur to bowl too many overs. We may not need Umesh Yadav possibly to bowl too many overs in the first innings. Pat Cummins, though, agrees with Rohit Sharma in wanting to bowl first. He says we would have bowled as well. Hopefully, day 4 and 5, there's a bit of spin. You think it suits his bowling, he'll be a key weapon and whatever else. But this is what Rohit Sharma had to say. He says, at the toss, we're going to bowl, the conditions and also the weather being overcast. The pitch won't change too much. So he said, we've gone in with four seamers and one spinner. The spinner's Jadeja. It's always tough to leave Ashwin. He's been a match winner. And then says, Rahane brings in a lot of experience. He's played 80-odd test matches. So for all of you who are joining us now, India have won the toss and have opted to field first in the World Test Championship final. They've gone in with four seamers and one spinner in Ravindra Jadeja. We're going to try to get you the playing 11 quickly onto the screen. But for now, the big question was, there were two big questions. One was whether India will go in with Ishan Kishan or Shrikar Bharat. They've gone in with Bharat as the wicketkeeper. The other being, should they have played two spinners? They've gone in with one spinner in Ravindra Jadeja. Ravichandran Ashwin, world's #1 test bowler, sits out of the World Test Championship final. Four seamers for India: Shardul Thakur, Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj. That's India's playing 11. Shubman Gill, lot of expectations from him, given the way he's been playing. He's in red-hot form. Cheteshwar Pujara, counting on him because of what he's been doing in county cricket. Virat Kohli, can he complete that comeback really? Because of the way he's been batting. He's already scored 100 against Australia earlier this year in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Can he play a match-winning knock for his team? Then there is Shrikar Bharat, Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Umesh Yadav, Ajinkya Rahane, new lease of life for Ajinkya Rahane, and Ravindra Jadeja, the only spinner there. India have won the toss. They've decided to field first at the Oval. Rohit Sharma saying the conditions are overcast, so we want to field first. The pitch is not going to change much. And he's backed his seamers, saying they're going to get me early wickets. They're going to use these conditions and will look to put pressure on the Aussies. Pat Cummins, his counterpart, has said that he would have liked to bowl first as well. That is Australia's playing 11. No changes there. This was expected. They'll open with Usman Khwaja and David Warner. Manas Labuschagne, again scoring runs in county. There is Steve Smith. Two cricket nerds right there at number 3 and 4. Travis Head was playing baseball before, baseball really, the term was coined. Striking, I think he's got the best strike rate in this cycle. World Test Championship cycle. There's Cameron Green, Alex Carey, Mitchell Stark, Scott Boland, Nathan Lyon. Vedam, your reaction?
I wonder why Rohit Sharma, was he pressurized once he took 4 fast bowlers? So was he immediately pressurized that he won the toss and decided to field to back the team that he's chosen? Or was it because he's a Bombay cricketer who is a little more defensive than the others who lead the side? I keep wondering on that. And the finger injury that he showed yesterday, what did that have something to play with his opting to give it a little more rest for his finger? These are all questions we don't know. We don't know. We'll get to know maybe by the end of the day the real reasons. But I think we just thrown away a toss. But having said that, I think you've taken four fast bowlers, and hopefully they will be able to exploit the conditions much better than three fast bowlers would have. Okay, so that maybe that's the plus point in it. Ravichandran Ashwin, I think he should have been there. But anyway, the die is cast, and we really have to play with what we have in hand. But yes, I think Bharat is a good move. He's a better wicket keeper, and he's got the reach. He's a better wicket keeper, especially with the ball is wobbling. Many times, the ball moves well after it passes the wicket. So, it could easily go for four byes and things like that. So I think Bharat has got better reach than Ishant Kishan, and he's a better wicket keeper. All in all, I think India have an uphill task because you know the target, but all the time you're going to be under pressure. You're always going to keep batting second is not a joke. You'll always be under pressure, and that's exactly what is going to happen here. You're going to be under pressure right through the match, right from the first ball right down to the last ball, and it was something that India didn't need. But then Rohit Sharma and the rest of the brains trust think that's the way to go. So who are we to question it? They would play. Jadeja is a lone spinner, so he's got a lot of responsibility on him. The other factor is when you expect the pitch to help the fast bowlers, there's additional pressure on the bowlers. They really need to deliver. And it's very easy for Rohit Sharma to say that, I want to give the best conditions. He'll say, I've given you the best conditions, you deliver. And so, which means you're putting additional pressure on them. But at the same time, when your batting team has no pressure if it is going to bat last.
Yeah.
But what I feel is in England, there's no guarantee that the second day the overhead conditions are going to be any different. It could even be worse. And you were saying about rain on the fourth day. Let's see if it goes up to there. But I really would have batted first.
Okay. So both Jamie and Vedam have been saying that they would have batted first, but Rohit Sharma deciding to go in with four fast bowlers and only one spinner have decided to bowl first. Pat Cummins, he was asked at the toss whether he would have bowled as well, and he said yes. And I think it's the conditions, Jamie, the overcast conditions that that really was the reason why Rohit Sharma went in with that decision. But now that that decision's been made, how do you see the first session going for India, and what will they look to do?
Maya, if these four seamers do not bowl Australia out for under 250, it's going to be very, very tough because I was tempted to say 300, but I brought that down to 250 because India's batting has been so problematic across overseas test matches during these last two WTC cycles. Let's hope that it happens because I know Ashwin being benched is nothing new. I gave the reference of Kohli and Shastri doing it several times before. It felt wrong then, and it feels like it's a bigger mistake right now. Yes, I get it. There's overcast conditions. You have your team. Rahul Dravid he's a fantastic brain. They would have done everything. I want to also just agree with Vedam that now that you pick four fast bowlers, well, let's bowl now. I still think you should have batted because, like I said, it's not Headingley. It's not James Anderson and Stuart Broad running in and bowling you 17, 18 overs of quality C because that's what these two bowlers do. I think India could have actually taken them on. Yes, you would have lost. Probably you would have lost Rohit Sharma because his form, and again, I'm talking about form as compared to what he did 2 years ago at the Oval. Right now, man to man, Shubman Gill would probably have had a better chance of doing something. But that said, like Pritham said, who are we to sit here and be too harsh? I wish them all the best. If they don't have if they've not taken 4 wickets in the first session in these conditions, I would term it as a big loss for India.
Vedam, do you agree? How many wickets should India be looking to take in the first session, given that now they've...
All 10. All 10.
All 10.
But look at this, Meha. If Australia get away to, let's say, 300 runs, the pressure that they're going to exert on the Indian batsmen is going to be relentless. Not just these 3 fast bowlers, they will use Cameron Green also, and the pressure will be relentless. There'll be 3 slips, 2 gullies at all times. That is going to be really, really tough. You don't know which ball has got your number. However good a batsman you are, unless you have all the luck in the world. So, which is why I say they should have batted first. But now that it's gone the other way, now you're not sure whether you're going to attack or you're going to defend. You would like to attack in the beginning, but if you think it's slipping away from you, you don't want to be chasing 300. You don't
Yeah.
want, Australia, like I said, if they get 300, 350, they're going to apply relentless pressure. And suddenly, India will have to do it two slips and a gully and try to ensure that not too many boundaries go. So I think it is a defensive move,
Yeah.
bowling first. And we can only hope for the best.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a good move. But anyway, now that we made the move, I think you really have to hope for the best and
Yeah.
ensure
Back
that
your
Shami
bowlers.
and Siraj get you the breakthrough as quickly
Absolutely.
as possible.
And the other thing is, Jamie and Vedam, that it's not just your bowlers who should restrict now Australia to 250, 270 at the max. They also need to be batting well in the second innings. That's the other thing, because you've already said that you're going to be slightly defensive by choosing to bowl. Jamie?
See, there's nothing to say that Australia could not be 35 for 4 after the first hour. The
Yeah.
conditions are stacked in favor of the seamers. We know, I mean, we've heard of bounce. I think it's going to be a slightly softer surface than most people are predicting. David Warner has struggled for a long time. I mean, you think about him in England, Stuart Broad got him some 6 times in that 2019 Ashes. Let's hope that Rahul Dravid and the whole coaching staff has watched those videos. Usman Khwaja, I mean, you mentioned yesterday I mean, I would say he's the biggest comeback of this WTC cycle, but he's
Yeah.
gone to England 4 times. He's not done anything there. So if these two guys get out, and it's one terrific ball from Siraj, maybe even Shardul Thakur that gets Marnus Labuschagne hopping or fending. I remember Mohammad Siraj had him, was it at the MCG in his debut test, caught down the leg side. Anything is possible. But if it's not 35 for 4 and it turns out to be David Warner's day, a drop in the slips, a catch falls short, David Warner starts to remind the viewers why he wants to go out on a high 6 months from now at the SCG, and India are just going to be chasing too many runs. So again, yes, I can understand why they chose to field. It's overcast, but let's hope it pans out. If not, I can just imagine the backlash and the articles being written about Rohit Sharma's legacy taking shape here. Let's
Yeah.
hope it happens. Let's wish them all the
I, I,
best.
I wonder how the new ball bowlers will be approaching this, pitching it up at all times. What will they look to do with them?
Yeah, they just need to pitch up all the time. You're absolutely right. It's going to be a different length than what they used at IPL. Maybe the over pitched ball is not such a bad ball in English conditions at all.
Yeah.
If you can get the batsman to drive and go for the drive shot, and your slips are awake, and pick up those snicks. So I think they'd like to bowl full, and let's not forget that Mohammad Shami is a very, very experienced and wily bowler, and he will know exactly what to do. Siraj will go all out, but Siraj also in this last 1 year, he's developed so much and improved so much. I think he will be a very, very, very handy bowler in
Yeah.
English conditions. So I think these two are your spearheads, and they really have to be bowling at their best. While Umesh Yadav and Shardul Thakur should step in and try to keep the ball up, not bowl too many short deliveries, not bowl too many loose deliveries, but keep the batsman quiet. That should be their task. Keep the batsman quiet, and if we can somehow induce an edge or a miss hit, well, all the better. But I think Siraj and Shami, they are the guys. They are the main bowlers for us.
Yeah, I wonder how happy Australia will be, Jamie, for not seeing Ashwin in the opposition. I mean, for left-handers, there's no Ashwin. We know the kind of, I mean, I would have actually looked forward to Ashwin bowling to Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith and see how they handle him. But even the other
Yeah.
players, the left-handers in the team, what must be the reason? I mean, I think Ashwin should just stop traveling to England because he just never gets an opportunity when he's in England. To see that you have decided, I mean, best of luck to India, but to decide you're playing 11 on the first hour of what the weather might be like, it's a bit of a risk.
That is exactly the point I wanted to make. You have made this based on Okay, I'll throw in another hour. I'll give you the first session. You have picked a team based on the first session of a test match. This is 5 days. If it rains, it might go to a 6 day. It's the oval still. Spin will come into play. Just imagine Meha Vedam, one of these bowlers pulls up a niggle. Where are your overs going to come from, Jadeja? I mean, I'm a big fan of him, and I would have loved to see him, he and Ashwin team up. You rightly said, Meha, there are four left-handers in their top seven. Forget the conditions. When India won the last two series in Australia, Ashwin didn't take a bunch of wickets. He didn't play every single match. But coming in and getting Steven Smith, in his second spell, that's what you want. Even if Ashwin just got one wicket, two wickets, the psychological hold this man has over Australia. I mean, Smith's not a lefty, but Ashwin knows how to get him out. And there's bounce. There's bounce. Ashwin can exploit the bounce more than Nathan Lyon can, more than Jadeja can. Even if he bowled half of the overs he would have bowled on a dry track, you still want that man's tactical experience. He's the number one bowler. You just said it yourself, right? And I'm very, very surprised that Rahul Dravid has gone the Ravi Shastri Virat Kohli way. I expected a bit more from that man.
Okay, so there you have it. India have won the toss. They've opted to bowl first. Rohit Sharma at the toss saying because of the overcast conditions, they've decided to bowl, and also that they've gone in with four seamers and one spinner in Ravindra Jadeja. The big talking point coming out of this is that there is no Ravichandran Ashwin in this team. The number one test bowler is sitting out yet again in England. Will this will this turn out to be a wrong call, a wrong decision? We'll have to wait and watch out for that. But this is the other thing that I have just received from the BCCI, and this is that the Indian cricket team will, that's the playing 11, but if you could just come back to me, I will come to the playing 11 in just a bit. Quickly, if you could come back to me. This is what we have received. It says the Indian cricket team will observe a moment of silence in memory of the victims of the Odisha train tragedy ahead of the start of play on day one of the ICC World Test Championship final at the Oval. The team mourns the death and offers its deepest condolences to the families and friends of all those who tragically lost their lives. To express solidarity with those affected, Team India will wear black armbands. So this is what has been sent by the BCCI to us. So just coming back now to the playing 11, and like I was saying, that I think there will be a big question around why they didn't go in with Ravichandran Ashwin. Do you think Rohit Sharma made the right decision? Let us know. And what should India look to do in the first session? Because now it's important that India gets quick wickets. Jamie saying at least 4 to 5 wickets in first session. Vedam saying just get all 10, because that probably is the one way that they will look at dominating this test match. But that's all. I'm going to wrap this up, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Jamie Alter and Vedam, for joining us here. So that's the news now for all of you who are joining us now, is that India have won the toss at the Oval in the World Test Championship final. They've decided to bowl first. Rohit Sharma at the toss saying that due to the overcast conditions, he's decided to bowl first. They've gone in with four seamers and a spinner in Ravindra Jadeja. Ravichandran Ashwin sits out. KS Bharat is the wicketkeeper for this team. It's not going to be an easy task, but then Indian team has shown that they can win against Australia. They won 2 series against Australia in in the last few years. So hopefully India play well, and you join us on News 9 Live for all the latest from this World Test Championship final. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.